I'm just gonna practice. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to the Formula One Heineken Dutch Grand Prix. That was supposed to be practice.
Well, we don't do practice.
We don't do practice
we
around
sim
here.
practice and get to qualifying. Welcome to the F1 Side Pod, post Dutch Grand Prix. I'm Cody.
I'm Noah.
And I'm Paul.
So we'll start off with the order. The top five. We have Verstappen, Dutch driver, winning the Dutch Grand Prix. We're going to leave the exact same national anthem on because it's his anthem too. George Russell P2, Leclerc P3, Hamilton P4, Perez P5. So what do you guys think about the race?
I thought it was a really good race.
Oh, yeah.
I think especially the late
liked
drama.
The what?
The late drama.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like, oh man, this is going on without a hitch. And then all of a sudden, Tsunoda's car doesn't work. And then it works again. And then it doesn't work. And then everything happens. And then they send out a safety car.
Yeah.
That Tsunoda issue was eerily
That was weird.
convenient
Yeah.
for Red Bull at that time.
Well, it was just so odd. Yeah, true. But it was just so weird. Like, the driver's like, something's wrong. He just pulls over. He's like, keep driving.
Yeah, they're like, no, it's not.
Yeah, he's like, my tire's not secure on there. It's like, it is.
My crazy conspiracy.
I mean, I guess it was his diff, but
my
that's
crazy
why he was still on the
conspiracy
slip.
man take on that is it was very eerily convenient for Red Bull, and it is their sub team AlphaTauri. So it was just really weird how that worked out for them. So good.
I think even
I
without
know,
that, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
I-
But I don't think they take. I don't think they take race orders from them. You know, like I
Right.
think they get like, hey, here's who we want your driver to be potentially. But I think during the race, it's kind of like, hey, we're dealing with our own shit. You guys just finish in like 12th and fuck off.
Oh, I'm not saying that happened.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, who knows what kind of dark dealings are going on? If they just give him like a little one of these things, signal,
Noah
the
did a
third
bunch
base,
Steel
coach.
third.
yeah,
Yeah.
this kind of thing,
Yeah.
Right.
Noah did
And
a bunch
then
of
he just-
signals.
All of a sudden, his seatbelt pops
You would see
off.
those if we had video podcasts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then you wouldn't see Noah, so.
Right,
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
right.
But so yeah, Verstappen, I mean, didn't lead as much as he did at the end of the last race, but on the restart, he was ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He wasn't gonna let Hamilton do it and get him again.
Yeah. So I mean, and I was talking to my dad a little bit about it. It seemed like, you know, because if you're the front car when the safety car goes in, you know, you kind of hold back, wait for the car to get in. You kind of got to gauge how long is it going to take the safety
You
car
want
to
to
get
wait
in
for
there.
that. You want to wait for that car that's like riding your butt, because usually they kind of like accelerate, decelerate, accelerate, because they want to get it right when they're in their acceleration phase. So
Yeah.
then, like when you're that car in the front, you're just waiting for them. Oh, they just backed off. I'm going.
Well, but so they don't get to pick necessarily when they go. They have to try to guess when the safety car is going to pull into the pits.
Oh, go. Yeah.
And so they've got to try to gauge, okay, how slow do I have to go to put me in the best situation for a takeoff and them in the worst? And Hamilton didn't do that. He put Verstappen in probably the best case scenario he could have wanted. He banked off that edge and just flew past him immediately.
They got Red Bull actually ended up kind of lucky on both, or not lucky on that one, but kind of lucky because it's Hamilton's fault. But like on the other the virtual safety car, they kind of, it ends randomly, but they ended the virtual safety car with them going right into the straights.
Yeah.
So they won both times.
Yeah. And then obviously the pit under
The safety car.
the safety car and the VSC.
Yeah, the VSC one was because what was it? Was it Sainz that pitted when they thought it was going to be a VSC?
So Sainz pitted and then Tsunoda had his issue.
Right.
Because I remember as I see him pulled over, I'm like, well, that's another thing, just screwing over Carlos Sainz in this race.
God,
I don't-
he had the worst race.
racing wise,
no
he did
fault of
well.
his own.
Yeah, everybody else was just like, man, we don't
God.
want this. And he still finished. Well, I say still, he finished P8 because he had
Oh, a 5-second
5-second
penalty.
penalty.
yeah unsafe release penalty. He
Well-
had a what was it? 18
Which
second
he's
pit stop.
blaming on McLaren's pit crew. is
Before
why
the
he had
5-second
unsafe.
penalty, though, he was still in like 5th place, and then
Yeah.
just
Well, I think what didn't help him at all either was like he got the 5-second and the whole grid was bunched up because of
because of
that
the safety car.
Yeah.
So nobody had.
So
yeah.
there was no gaps.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I mean, he got screwed. And they called him in for a pit, and the engineers just didn't have his tires.
Well,
One tire.
Well, a tire, yes.
They said that I think what happened is they made the call to pit so late that the engineers
quick-
didn't give
Yeah, it was a
the
quick
mechanics
call.
didn't have time to get the tires
Yeah.
out when they did call to pit. So it wasn't like
They
them-
just forgot.
They just forgot to do it. The engineers just didn't give the mechanics enough time to actually do
Yeah.
it.
So once again, Ferrari just not know what the fuck's going on.
yeah.
And then
Just
Charles
making
Leclerc,
calls too late. So it's just
Yeah.
I mean it's
and
like
then
the
Perez
upper-
runs over their
their gun.
their air gun.
Yeah.
And breaks.
And that's that's
And
just
that was another
another
thing because like
Because they're
I
probably
saw
going to
that-
get fined for that.
Yeah, well, and then I saw that like when he ran it over, it's like that could have easily punctured that tire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That
But-
would have been a ton of shit.
Yeah. And then Leclerc at one point started in P2. Okay. Started on the front row. And they're like, okay, Charles, best case scenario, we're going to end in P4. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, why are you getting
What do
into
you
his
mean?
head? Oh, well, and then it's like, why are you getting into his head like that?
Yeah.
Well, it was like because they needed to pit him because their strategy. I mean, really and truly, Mercedes had probably the best strategy.
Oh, they had
because
a
of
really
everybody
good
else.
strategy this-
Because of everybody else starting on softs, going those mediums.
Yeah.
Without that safety car,
I couldn't believe how fast those
it
hard.
could have been a 1-2.
I really do think that the safety cars killed it for Mercedes. And
Yeah.
then some calls like I think that honestly I think Lewis Hamilton took second place away from himself. He should have pitted.
yeah,
like
he
if
did.
I think he had it in his head that what should happen, and I think it's just the way he's used to operating,
he-
is he thought what should happen
Well-
is that I should go, or we should both stay out, and George Russell just keep Verstappen away
Yeah.
from me. But that was
I
not going to
think-
happen.
I think he forgets that they can Merck and the FIA aren't in cahoots anymore, and he just forgets about that.
Right.
So he like in my head, this is how it should go, and they'll make it work. They'll make
Yeah,
it
they'll
work.
But
that way.
to me, it just seemed like he just completely got in his head thinking like, okay, my teammate's job is going to be to make
Defend.
sure I win this race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there was no like the speed was nowhere close. Like
Yeah,
they were
and he's
gonna
not
be
the
able to
number
defend
one
him.
driver
Well,
anymore.
exactly.
So
Well,
he
because
should've-
they're like so even. It's like, hey, if Rustler can, they're not gonna have.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a bow toss to you anymore.
Yeah.
You
And
don't-
he's not willing to be either because he knew what the best thing to do was to pit right there, and he just
he won.
They let him do
because
it.
they had 10, 11 laps left.
But Hamilton
Yeah,
should have
so-
known to do that too.
Yeah.
They acted like it was a weird call for them, but I honestly think they both should have gone in and just accepted they were going to get 2-3.
right.
Yeah, and just race for
I
it.
do think they had the win, but whenever it's gone, you should
gotta
just
get
let
the
it
best.
go
Yeah.
and get
Well,
your best.
And I think they kind of tried to play both strategies, and I think they could have had 2-3 if they would have both pitted. But I
Yeah,
think they tried
that's
to
what I
play
think, too.
both
Yeah.
strategies where, hey, maybe Hamilton can hold off Verstappen for a while.
can't.
Yeah, not on mediums and Verstappen on fresh softs.
Oh,
and
yeah, definitely.
having that straight. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
but
no, I don't know if it was them playing both strategies. It was just that George Russell just decided
Demanded-
himself, like
yeah, he's like,
asked
"I'm
to,
pitting."
he's like asked them to pit him, and they were like, okay, and then suddenly Hamilton's just stuck out there.
Yeah, and then he had a big baby hissy fit over headset to everyone, the whole team.
Yeah, I haven't
calling them a
listened-
bunch of
I haven't-
fucking fucks. And
yeah, I haven't listened to
I
that
was
yet.
like,
but
fuck, why
I
are
saw
they
that.
doing
they
this?
can see how fast Red Bull is with the softs on, and they know that they've had they've had trouble warming up their tires and stuff, and that they just didn't have the speed. Like they can see that in the booth, and like he can't.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was that DeVries that was in the pit?
Oh yeah, the reserve. Yeah.
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 They were showing a lot of him today.
I was gonna mention that too. I wrote a note about that. They showed a lot of him, and that
And him and Toto looked like they were pretty
having him
buddy.
having him
close.
that close to the team principal and stuff all day, like it seems like there's some serious.
Well, DeVries has raced for Mercedes E team for a while.
I know he's
But-
like one of their reserve drivers, but
Yes.
the fact that he's like
Yep.
just sitting there with him the whole race
Well-
seems like either they're putting pressure on their driver.
Hamilton?
I think they're just honestly, I think it's a game. I think they're putting pressure on Hamilton to just
Yeah.
have him there in front of the camera all day.
I've heard-
I hope it's not just pressure, and they're like, see, don't do what Hamilton's doing, do what Russell's doing.
See, I've heard people talking about De Vries, and they think there's a decent chance because he's kind of in that weird age where he hasn't been in F1 this whole time. He's
Where
been
his
in
body's
Formula
developing,
E.
and he's
Yeah,
confused.
yeah, he's going through puberty right
Yeah.
now. His voice is cracking too much to be on national television. No, but he's been in Formula E for a while. He hasn't actually been in F1, but he's at the age where some drivers are already out of F1. They Nicholas Latifi is about to be. But he's like, I think 26, 27, and so it's weird to get your first drive at that age, and be, go to especially a top team like Mercedes immediately. And so a lot of people think he may get just passed over and they're going to pull a young guy up. Or Daniel Ricciardo.
Daniel Ricciardo.
But so that'll be interesting to figure out. And we have plenty of driver news to talk about too.
I think they're gonna buy Hamilton out, and De Vries will just race next year for them.
We'll see.
Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me if they just let Russell be their number one driver and then they put someone in there to kind of help and develop.
God, I sent that article. What was that, Thursday, Friday, of what Hamilton was like? He was complaining about, like, well, if we were all in the same car, like, it would be a different story. Like, Max would be as fast. We would have been an actual shot. And it's like, dude, you and Russell are in the same car, and Russell is beating your ass. Like,
I would say,
what are you talking about? Just shut up.
I would say too. I watched a lot of the pre-race today, and they were showing kind of the underbelly of the Red Bull car, and a lot of the how they do the wind tunneling under the car.
Yep.
And that being kind of the key to what they've put together this season, because they're porpoising, they got through that
real quick.
Yeah.
And all of it's this just undercurrent on their car, and it's really cool how they were showing how that works and everything, and how that they showed some clips from a past race where Max had his one of his under funnels blocked, and he couldn't keep it in any of the turns and stuff. It's really crazy how they put that car together, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
The key to all the cars is that floor with these new cars.
Yeah, the ground effects.
Keep them sucked down, but also not when they brake, that doesn't raise enough to start that porpoising.
Yeah.
Or I guess it's when it bottoms out. It's when the porpoising happens, because it'll bottom out, it'll slow down, and then it sucks back down and just
keeps
amplifies.
Doing that.
Also, Fernando Alonso once again.
Yeah.
Awesome race.
Yeah.
Alpine there we go. But I mean, Alpine easily number 4 team, very good.
Oh yeah,
Top
they
of the
just
midfield.
they're just.
And nobody wants to
last
race
half,
for him.
Even though it's been 2 races, I've really been paying more attention to Alpine, which I had never done in the past.
Well,
Alonso had a shot for P5 too.
Yeah, coming from where did he start? 11th, 12th.
Alonso started 13th.
13th.
And
Yeah.
finished P6. Speaking real quick of somebody in the same car as Max Verstappen is Sergio Perez, who since the summer breaks ended,
He's just
hasn't looked great. Qualified P5, finished P5.
yeah.
Not what Red Bull's looking for, and it's not like one of those races where he had a wreck early on and was fighting his way back, something like that.
Yeah,
but I think the same thing happened last year after the summer break. Perez just kind of fell off a little bit.
What's he doing at summer break?
Probably partying his absolute ass off.
Yeah.
I think though, I think this race, I don't know if I'd read too much into the P5 for him for this race. Just it was kind of a very strategically technical race.
Yeah.
2 of the people between him and second and third place. Mercedes basically had the win at one point today, which would have put Max Verstappen in third and then Sergio Perez in fifth. So really, at the end of the day, I don't think that they were as far off of each other as it looks. Obviously they
I think my issue a little bit though is how far off they were, in like those, what was it, 10, 11 laps, I think, after the safety car ended. Perez ended up 18 seconds back. He was 5 seconds behind Hamilton. Who
Like
was
he
in
finished
P4.
18 seconds.
Yes,
back.
he finished 18.
Yeah.
He lost 18 seconds between him and Verstappen from the safety car restart. And so that's just not. I mean, I know it is a very technical track, and so if you don't have that.
I just meant strategically technical, like the actual race itself.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, at the end of the day, like if nothing had changed, like with safety cars and stuff, then what we could have had today is
then
Hamilton
him
won.
to Verstappen wouldn't be as far.
Him
as
to
that was
Verstappen
saying.
would be
Yeah,
two
gotcha.
places, and the person between them would be Charles Leclerc, which is like
Understandable.
seen as like a top contender. So
Yeah.
I don't think they see anyone in front of him that shouldn't be there
Yeah.
necessarily, or that it's wild that they're there.
Yeah,
I think.
I just hope the difference doesn't exacerbate. I hope he gets back to how close, and even winning some races like he did earlier this year.
Right.
Because that's what Red Bull wants too.
I think it could be. I think honestly the pit strategies in confluence with like the safety cars in this
Yeah,
race
made a big difference.
a very interesting race, and I think that all in all, like I don't think he had a bad race. I think it just that one's P5
Yeah,
for him.
it's where it's where it falls. But going back to driver news. Well, I guess before we go to driver news, anything else about this race that really stood out to you guys?
Ferrari getting third place. I think Charles getting third place. That was really nice to see because it's been
It was
a bad
cool to see.
stint.
All three of the top teams.
Shown
Getting
all three
podium.
top teams, top drivers.
And they just keep having like
Right.
They just keep having like really, really bad calls and stuff, and just big mistakes for Ferrari. So
Maybe
just
it's
seeing
the-
one of their drivers on the podium, that was pretty nice.
Maybe it's the start
especially
of the
like
turnaround.
when they were just such a force the first quarter of the season.
Yeah.
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 I think
Well-
they just need to be better at making calls. Like I think they're
Oh,
making
yeah.
they're making the wrong calls at the wrong times, and
Yeah.
that I think that sometimes maybe there's something to be said that they people's brilliant and genius calls may make your calls look stupid by comparison, and maybe
Yeah.
that some of their calls are when they do like a very late decision to pit, they may be having to basically try to keep up with people who are making like
real good calls.
just genius calls. Like Red Bull just like is unstoppable on their calls, and if trying to even keep up with a team like that, maybe that makes you look stupid whenever you're actually just not able to.
I don't know, because like if I'm sitting here and I'm making a call and then they
Right.
don't do it, I'm like, I'm not as smart as them,
Yeah,
but I call that
yeah.
yeah,
sometimes, not all the time. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely like been like, Ferrari, why are you doing that? And there's like, oh, this is what they're doing, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they're just bad at strategy.
Yeah. I think it's something they got to get better at for
Yeah.
sure.
I don't think they're bad at strategy. I think they're just not even on the same planet as like Mercedes and Red Bull as far as strategy. I don't think
Or
they're bad at
Alpine,
strategy. Well, I mean they're
Well, the Alpine, they finished behind Alpine, behind Alonso, just because Sainz got that penalty,
Yeah.
which is their fault for sending him out into him. But still,
I wouldn't call the top like one of the top three teams bad at strategy. Just
It was
not
a
as
weird-
good as each other.
It was a weird release though, because there was a McLaren like engineer kind of like right in
his way.
and he kind of had to stutter step. He had to like stutter to get around him, and that's what caused
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alonso to be like right there.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll
But,
see.
I
We'll see
mean,
what the FIA
yeah.
says. Maybe they fine McLaren for it too. I don't know.
No, I'm sure it's.
I mean, McLaren's McLaren's a little bit on hard times right now. Ricardo finished P17,
God, yeah.
which
What did I have him? He was going to be my dark horse P6 or higher.
He's been every week now, and
feel
I'm
bad.
not. I don't
It's
have a lot of
weird, too.
confidence in him.
I feel.
Well,
I,
and it's
I hope,
weird too because he'll like qualify like 8th, sometimes 10, and then like he'll just drop down to 16th.
Well, not this week. This week
I know,
he
but
qualified P17.
I know, but
he
I'm
looked
saying
really good in practice.
In the past, though, like he's qualified in the points, and then he just somehow gets
Just
like
slips.
he just keeps slipping.
Yeah, I feel bad for him, but this will transition nicely into talking about drivers swapping places because Ricardo is officially out at McLaren. Piastri is ruled to be in at McLaren.
Not Alpine.
Alpine had apparently no claim to him whatsoever, said all the people looking at it. But the thing that's getting McLaren kind of in some hot water with people who like Ricciardo is they signed Piastri July 4th while they were still saying Ricciardo's our guy.
Right. That's shady as shit.
And he hadn't even, and I guess the agreement was like, hey, if Ricciardo stays, you'll be our reserve driver. If he goes, you'll be in his seat, I guess was the agreement. But you're kind of signing him to be your top driver, or not top driver, but
did they kick
driver.
Did they kick Ricciardo or did he leave?
Technically, he had to say I'll leave because he had the option. They didn't have an option, but they bought him out of his contract. And so, I mean, he's getting money for it, but it just doesn't look the best on McLaren.
And I haven't seen this, but does he have a seat?
Not yet. Not yet. There was rumored he was going to go to Alpine, but Pierre Gasly is now the top person, potentially even already signed a contract with Alpine, which will be interesting next year. It'll be, hey, Netflix is rubbing their hands together, not only for drama this year, but drama next year. Apparently, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon hate each other. They were born like very close to each other, so they grew up in karting against each other, and bad blood formed apparently pretty quickly, and they have just not liked each other since then. So that's going to be great television.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Pierre Gasly potentially out at AlphaTauri.
I honestly think that Alpine could be really good for him. Like they're in a good spot right now, and
so.
he's driving really well, even though AlphaTauri's not doing so hot.
But at the same time, it's not the pressure of a top team, which seemed to be what got him at Red Bull.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool too. Red Bull was just like, we're not gonna
force you to stay here.
Yeah, we're not gonna force you to stay. You're free to look.
And I
thought that was pretty cool.
I think it was today.
They owed him that.
Because why are they going to tie someone down who's like a top driver and tie someone down their like sub team?
Well, and that's the thing with their sub team. They're kind of looking for that for guys who are going to go to Red Bull potentially.
Right.
So they're looking to. They're like, hey, they don't want to give him the shot, so might as well bring somebody else in there.
Right.
Yeah. But, I think he drove really well for him, but I think that's a good point that you make. That it's like if they're not entertaining the possibility of him going up to Red Bull, then
they're
why
kind of
tie
almost
him
wasting
down?
their time. Yeah. So I saw actually today it's been confirmed for AlphaTauri's second seat. Helmut Marko confirmed they have signed Colton Herta, who is an IndyCar driver, an American, who drives for Andretti in IndyCar. But basically, Andretti, when they were trying to push to get to be the 11th team, he was part of their plan, was to bring him in as a driver. The issue becomes they got to do some finagling on his super license. You got to have a certain amount of points to get a super license.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't finish high enough in IndyCar this year, which it doesn't apparently look like, I don't follow IndyCar that much, but it doesn't apparently look like he's going to finish high enough, he wouldn't have the amount of points he would need. So they're hoping that the FIA either does an exception or changes the rules slightly or something like that, and they believe they will, or they wouldn't have signed him. Somebody slides some money.
Yeah.
So we'll have an American there. It's rumored Williams might bring in one of their junior drivers, Logan Sargent, also an American. It could go
Logan Sargent. Yeah. What an American sounding name.
100%. So it goes from like no Americans in like, I don't know, 30 something years to two Americans on the grid.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So that would be kind of nuts. But also with Colton Herta, something I'm interested in is in the lower levels, Lando Norris gave him the name of Hooligan Herta because of the way he takes fast turns, apparently, not friendly to other cars. So that would be very interesting.
Oh, wow.
I'll be honest, like I don't ever care like where any driver's from, and I hardly remember where they're all from or anything. But having someone in there from your own country it's really cool because it kind of makes you want to root for them and stuff.
Yeah,
a little bit.
That's why I kind of have like a soft spot for Haas too. Is because it's like the American.
Exactly.
Team.
I've always had a soft spot for them too. A Haas spot.
A Haas spot.
Oh, he's got a Haas spot.
I got a Haas spot for them.
Cone of shame on him.
Yeah, because there's a little.
I will say probably if either of them wins a race, the first time when the national anthem comes on, I'm gonna be pumped about it. If they ever win a second race, I'm gonna be like, oh God, this thing again, because our national anthem is long. But it's at least not the 12 Days of Christmas.
Cody's an un-American.
Right.
Yeah. Do you remember
Caught
when?
him.
Got
Get
it.
him, boys.
Hey, early on in this podcast, I couldn't think of the term national anthem, and so I tried to call it our theme song.
Yeah, our theme song.
America's theme song. But yeah, so I mean that's I think all of the movement we've got right now for drivers. There's probably going to be more. It's going to get more interesting, but we're going to figure out who's driving for who next year, and obviously where Ricardo will go. Maybe Haas. Maybe they drop Schumacher and bring Ricardo in for a year.
Schumacher's been looking good though.
I don't know. I think Schumacher's been looking good. Their team,
all right.
it's their team. They it's like you got to think of it like this. George Russell was in a Williams car a few years ago, and what would you have thought of him before he went to Mercedes?
Yeah, but the year before he did qualify P2 in the second shittiest car on the grid.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so there was a little more push.
But
He was
what I would say
consistently
though
P-
is
in
that
Q3.
Haas is not really known as being a very strategic team, or that makes good decisions, or has a good car, or is a really reliable car.
Or they're cute. They're not cute. I mean,
It's a hard team to develop with, I believe, and I think Mick Schumacher has done pretty good there for what he's given. And I know, George Russell, I know he qualified P2 in that race, but the rest of the year Williams struggled to even get a point on the board.
well, that was Latifi's fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it'll be interesting. See, where Ricardo goes. I hope he gets a seat for next year.
Yeah, me too.
See if maybe Schumacher moves around and all that. But which Esteban Ocon said his choice for his teammate would have been Mick Schumacher, but it looks like instead of getting his friend, they're getting his enemy.
That would have been really cool.
Yeah.
I like seeing a Schumacher back on the
Yeah.
board. That's awesome.
He's got a lot to live up to.
Yeah. And he, I think he's already behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's cool that he's there, and it's cool
Oh,
that
yeah,
he's
definitely.
he's a good enough driver to be in Formula One. There's only
20 of them.
there's only 20 of them, and he's
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But all right, well that's both this race review and talking about the driver
All
movement.
the news this week.
But who is our weekend warrior?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say Alonso before you guys say it.
Okay.
I just wanted to say it before you said it. 'cause
How do you know that we're going to say Alonso?
I think Noah has talked about him at least once every week.
Yeah, I think Noah has a
stepped
big
on my
hard
toes
on
a
for
little-
Alonso.
Stepped on my toes a little bit. I do like Alonso.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll just go with. Maybe it's not a spectacular pick, but I think my weekend warrior is Charles Leclerc.
Oh, okay.
I
For
think
fighting against
he got-
Ferrari.
yeah,
he
for
fought
Ferrari
against
shit.
he
His
fought
team.
against his team's best wishes,
Yeah.
and he got on the podium.
Yeah.
Despite all their best efforts, he got on the
Yeah.
podium. So I think, to me, maybe this is maybe you can kind of start coming back a little bit. I think the championship is out of the picture for them.
Yeah.
So right now, maybe the best thing for them is just focusing on
Getting better at strategy.
getting better, and
Beat
keep on
McLaren,
improving,
or beat
and beat
Mercedes.
So
Yeah. Keep
maybe
second place.
Yeah,
Maybe
just
they're-
please keep second place.
Yeah. I would also put forward, just as much as I don't like to give him credit, is Lance.
you're gonna do 2 picks. You can't do 2
And I
picks.
haven't even picked
He's
Okay,
not
one.
even said one.
Okay, Paul, do yours. Who's yours?
Take it back because I heard you
I
say
take it back.
Lando.
I didn't say Lando. You actually misheard
I thought
me.
you said
Paul,
no.
no. Go ahead.
Well, when I was watching the race, I was kind of thinking about giving it to old Georgie boy because he did really good.
He went from P6 to P2.
Right. And I think, wasn't it his first P2?
Can't confirm. We'll look it up.
His call to pit was really cool too.
I know. Like, he knows his shit. But
Oh,
I do like Alonso's performance as well.
If you don't count the bullshit Spa Grand Prix last year, which
Right.
most of us shouldn't.
We shouldn't.
Yes, it was Russell's
Yeah,
first
I
P2.
thought that's what they said. So I thought that was pretty cool. And it's nice that he just gets to. He's easily the number 1 driver. Mercedes. I'm just gonna say Georgie boy. I wish I could say both. I want to say Georgie boy and Alonso if I could pick 2.
you know what? You could win me over a little bit on George Russell. I thought that call he made was super ballsy, and it completely worked out for him.
Yeah.
I would just honorable mention he's not going to get it, but
Oh,
Lance Stroll
Lance,
started.
That's the L you heard.
Yeah, it was started P10, ended P10 in a car that is one step above dog shit.
One step above Williams.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
And yeah, started P10, ended P10, got a point for Aston Martin when they probably didn't deserve it.
I think that's admirable of him, but I wouldn't call him the weekend warrior.
No,
for my opinion.
it's just an honorable mention.
Oh,
Yeah.
honorable.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, who are we giving it to, boys? We got 3 now. This is irregular.
What was yours?
Leclerc. I didn't
Oh,
do
that's
2.
right.
I'm not that rude.
Yeah. I tossed in an honorable mention. We'll call it that.
Okay, I did too.
I did too. I'm gonna make Schumacher honorable mention.
Okay.
I just the first name that popped
So
in my head.
we got a lot
Hey,
of names
Yuki
up there.
Tsunoda honorable mention for making the end of the race interesting.
What? No, hold on. Well, hold on. Honorable mention Carlos Sainz because he had a bad day, and I want to make it better.
Yeah. Okay, so who are we picking though?
Oh,
For reals.
okay.
You know what? I'll vote Russell. I'll vote Russell. I'll change it from Alonso. Alonso came up, but he really came past a bunch of cars that he was faster than.
I've given it to Alonso a lot. I liked what I saw from Russell today.
Yeah,
Coming
balls
in
out
P2,
moving.
like making the best call for
Telling Toto
himself.
Wolff where to
Honestly,
shove it.
would have been the best call for their team for them both to do that. But whenever it was clear that Hamilton was not wanting to do that, he made the call for himself. I thought that showed a whole lot of gumption. And I'm telling you, next year it could be a big year for George Russell. So I think him as my weekend warrior.
I'm gonna go with Russell as well.
Okay, I thought Paul was going to be like, Mick Schumacher.
No.
All right, congratulations, George Russell. We'll send you a beanie that says F1 Side Pod.
And we send out a beanie every week to these drivers.
Yeah,
Right.
well, sometimes we send T-shirts. One time we sent a scarf.
Yeah. Fernando always sends them back.
Yeah, yes. Well, it says, so I don't know if it's him sending them back, but it does say return to sender. But it...
Maybe we got the wrong address.
Yeah.
Well, I just sell them on eBay. I just
sent it-
resell them on eBay as something that he touched.
Paul, how can we get the wrong address? We just wrote Fernando Alonso and sent it to Spain.
Yeah.
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 How
right.
could we get the wrong address?
They know where he lives.
Yeah.
They'll it'll just matriculate to him once it gets there
Yeah,
because
they
they'll
know
see
who we're
that tag.
talking about.
Like, oh, Alonso.
Oh,
okay.
that Fernando Alonso.
They keep passing along
Yeah.
targets
Right.
to him.
But yeah, so congratulations, George Russell, weekend warrior. And let's get to our break. All right, this is the break. This is where we would put ads if we had them. That's a Fairly Odd Parents reference.
I don't get it.
Yeah, Paul never watched any of those cartoons. So
You idiot, Paul.
usually we've done we've done fake ads for people, we've done targeted ads.
None of it-
Last time
it's
we
not working.
threatened you for your money, didn't get anything. So Noah, what do we got this week for ads?
Okay, I know that y'all count on me a lot for these ad breaks, and that
Well, you're
I'm
the
supposed to come
marketing
up.
guru.
I know I'm the marketing guru, and I've got to come up with the money makers and stuff. I've got a brand new, brilliant idea that's revolutionary and is changing the game.
Yeah.
Why do we want? What? Can I ask you something?
Yeah, hit me.
Just and be open minded. Do you have an open mind right now?
It's open.
Okay, but you're not gonna be mad. You
No,
promise?
hit me.
Okay. What? I feel like you're gonna be mad.
No, I'm not gonna be mad. Just tell me what it
Okay.
is.
Okay, I'll tell you what it is.
God.
Okay, first. All right. So what I was thinking was, y'all are gonna hate it.
Just
Okay.
do it.
All right, here it goes. You ready? I don't think we want money anymore.
What?
No. Oh God. Just hear me out. Why do we want money? Let's just stop it.
Is this
What
like
do
a
you
reverse
even-
psychology thing for the ad?
Yeah. What? Shh, don't
If
give
you don't-
it.
if you say it
don't
out
give-
loud, it
just
doesn't
don't
work.
say that. Shh.
Oh, right.
I don't really need anything anymore.
Yeah.
I have wealthy benefactors. We all do.
Yeah.
I
And
know.
they give us a trust of funds.
I
And the
don't
trust
have
fall.
I don't have a wealthy benefactor, but I know these two do. So when they get their money, I'll just kill one of them,
Yeah.
and then I'll get.
Well, usually
that
you
money,
get
because I
usually-
know I'm in their wills.
Well, usually my
We got to talk
money
about that after this.
Oh,
doesn't my money trickle down to you because I make more money.
Well, yeah,
my
whenever
money
you
trickles
piss your
down
money
to
at
you.
him.
oh, right.
Isn't that how it works?
trickle down economics?
Yeah.
I thought my money just kind of automatically, as I spend it, it would come to you.
Well, a
But-
percentage of it is
Yeah.
theoretically
Okay.
supposed to.
Okay. Well, I just think we don't need any. I don't need
Yeah.
anything. I have a car and a house and like
A dog.
A dog.
Let
What
me
do I need? Like
let me
playing
say that
cards?
same thing, but in just a slightly different tone of voice to come
Uh-huh.
across. We don't need your fucking money. Keep
Yeah,
it. We
keep
don't
it.
want your money. Don't email us at f1sidepod@gmail.com and tell us you want to sponsor our show and give us money.
We'll probably have it go to spam if you do.
Yeah, we don't want
it. If you mailed us a check last week, just if it's not got to us
Oh,
already,
we already I shredded them already.
Yeah.
good. But if it's not got to us already, call the post office, call your local post office, and say, "Can I stop that check in the mail? These guys don't even want it."
Yeah.
Do you call the post office to do that, or do you call your bank to cancel the check? That you...
We don't know how
You
the
call
postal
the
service
well,
works.
who's taking the check? Who's taking the check to the person?
Me. Oh, wait,
The
what?
post office.
Oh, the post office.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the bank would be an easier way to stop
Right.
the
Yeah.
check.
Yeah.
But
You know what?
if I-
Just
Because
hire a
I think-
local
I
kid
think
to
it's the
sit by my mailbox.
I think the post office intercepted the check and did something about it. I think that's like a federal
Fraud.
crime. Yeah.
not if you asked them
If you-
to.
yeah.
Oh.
For your own
You know what?
check.
Yeah, no, just hire a local kid to sit by my mailbox, and if he sees something from a company that says F1 Side Pod, just take it and leave.
Yeah.
Or like, you know how like when you're waiting for a package, if you look and it says,
But don't spend it all in one place, little boy.
Yeah.
you know when you like you're waiting for a package and it says like a random city you've never heard of, and it's like it's sitting in a carrier facility right here. If you call the post office and say, "I see that it's sitting over there in Hebron, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Could you just like go find it and throw it away, please? Thank you." Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well,
yeah.
Hebron, the post office isn't going to go there because that's an Amazon facility. That's a
Well,
different.
you just call Jeff Bezos then.
Yeah.
Even better.
He'll
Even
handle it.
easier.
He'll fly in and
Yeah.
rip the check up.
Well, I mean, realistically, he's just going to destroy it with his mind lasers that he's invented.
Oh,
but
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's
but yeah.
that's what we've got this
Okay,
week.
so for this break, we don't want your money. Don't
Keep it.
forget it. And
Want your
definitely
stinking
don't
money.
email us at f1sidepod at gmail.com and try to give us your money and try to sponsor us because we're not
We're
even
not
going to
gonna
look
Won't
at
even
it.
take it.
Yeah, we won't.
Yeah.
So don't even waste your time, but you can try if you want to, I guess.
Let's
But,
get out of corporate zone. Let's
yeah.
just end it right now. There's not any more to say.
All
Let's
right.
just get out of this corporate mindset.
Let's do it. All right. I feel way better now. We're out of the
I do
corporate.
too. I don't like myself whenever I'm like, I don't
This
like
is a grassroots
Yeah.
podcast.
I don't like what happens to me when I start thinking business.
Yeah.
Like it poisons the well a little bit. And we've kind of started it back up again. So let's just
Yeah,
get
let's
back
just
to the
get- yeah.
podcast.
Okay. So we've got the next race, which is next weekend, 3 in a row, baby.
I love it.
It's Italy again. It's Monza. It's the Temple of Speed.
Ricardo got P1 here last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Man, how things have changed.
Yeah.
Super excited for this race as always. It's,
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, yeah.
it's
I like
one
this.
of the best. I mean, it's like it's called the Temple of Speed for a reason.
Mm.
It's basically straights, curved straights, and 2 chicanes, so you don't go too fast.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
And you know who's really good at high speed stuff?
Red Bull.
I'll imagine
Red
that
Bull.
Red Bull is going to absolutely stomp this
Yeah.
race into the ground.
Unless something durability wise fucks up, yeah, they're
or
gonna,
hey, or if Verstappen ends up with his car underneath or over top of Hamilton's again.
oh yeah,
Because that's what happened last year. Last year was, I think, the first iteration of thank God we have the halo on
Yeah,
these cars.
yeah.
Because Verstappen's tire thumped Hamilton on the head, and without the halo pushing it back out,
yeah.
he probably would have been smushed.
And then
in
what
there.
was it earlier this year when they did who flipped?
Joe Guan Yu
And that was
flew in the
another-
air. Yeah.
yeah.
That was nuts. But yeah, so I mean, this is one. I mean, I feel like we say it's one of our favorite races
Every time.
It's amazing.
But this is one of the hallmarks. This is up there with Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
As one of my favorites for
really
sure.
like
Like
Azerbaijan.
sometimes we're just like, oh, this is a good race. Mm-hmm. This one's always super fun, at least because of the fact of when you hear somebody say how fast they're going, you're like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, they're taking this turn at 200 miles an hour, and you're like, I'm sorry, what? But yeah, last year the only 1-2 of the year for McLaren. Which was nuts. This year there's been like 8 1-2s with the same team. Most of them Red Bull. Couple of them Ferrari. Yeah, I'm jazzed for this.
Oh yeah, if you've missed a couple of races, or if we didn't catch you back coming back from the break and stuff, this is a perfect time to hop in. I think this is a really good race to come in on. I think several teams are doing really well. I think even Ferrari's kind of, doing okay. Mercedes does better every race, and Red Bull is dominating right now. But Alpine is
They're gonna do the sweep.
Is super good and consistent. Like I think there's a ton to watch, and it's gonna be a good race.
I mean, hopefully, maybe it's like Ricardo just knows this track, so he comes in a little bit more confident.
I think
I'm not gonna bet any money on that though.
I was gonna say I think there is no way.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you see when a driver's like leaving a team, he's like, "Well, what do I have to lose?" and just drives like crazy and does really well.
Yeah.
That's not happened these 2 races so far.
Well, he's on the depression side this weekend.
Yeah.
Next weekend is when he's like, fuck it.
I mean, I will say, here's the thing. Spa is pretty technical. I mean, because it's a lot of elevation change, and it's a very long track. Zandvoort is very technical. It's a bunch of it's a bunch of how you take how you take one turn could screw you up for 8 turns. Yeah, that banking turn. Yeah,
It's crazy.
but then Monza. I mean, obviously there's technical stuff to all of it. It's pretty all out. It's pretty much just, hey, have fun out there. And then you hop in a car and just drive your balls off.
Well, an interesting thing, too, though, is that when you're going that fast, suddenly it makes things that aren't super technical
Very
a
technical.
little more technical when you're, going way faster than normal.
Yeah, that's why they had to drop those 2 chicanes in there, is to reel back
Speed
everybody's
traps.
fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, super. Oh man, I'm so excited.
What kind of
for this
predictions have we got for next week?
Red Bull 1-2.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna say.
Leclerc.
I know we don't like to say. I'll just say there's gonna be chaos in lap 1. Just because
this is the only chance to really make anything happen, you think?
Yeah, I just wanted. I mean, kind of like Hungary a couple years or last year. There was a bunch of collisions because it is a very tight. I mean, that's why Hamilton and Verstappen came together at that chicane. It's a very tight chicane after just a long straight. So I'd say chaos early. We'll say maybe not lap 1, and hopefully that kind of shakes things up a little bit. Because anytime you can see a top car having to fight its way back from the back, it's real fun.
That's always fun, yeah. I don't know. I have a feeling that this is going to be Ferrari. It's not going to be 1-2, but I'm going to say 3-4 for Ferrari because they got a
they're
fast freaking car.
Yeah.
It's just their strategy sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, Red Bull and Ferrari definitely have the 4 fastest cars on the grid.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
You know what?
I think Mercedes is looking really fast right now, and honestly, it seems like that they're starting to get a little bit better about like their strategy. This race was like awesome.
Strat was
it
good.
just didn't work
If
out.
Ferrari had Strat, I mean, they have the faster car for sure than Mercedes.
Well, I do think Ferrari could be really strong this week. It's their home track,
hope
and
so.
then also they've got
They got to make up for what they've been doing.
they've got a fast car. I mean,
They got they got good drivers too.
Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah.
so insane
They
about
have
them.
everything
They have everything
except a
working in
plan.
their favor. Yeah, they got everything but a plan.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, what was it last week? They were like going to like Plan G.
Yeah. And they were like, and they were having a full discussion with Charles as it was going on. Like, would you like mediums this lap or hards next lap or softs in like 10 laps? What would you like? And he's like, I don't know.
I'd really be interested to see kind of what's going on behind the scenes there, because it does seem like the only thing missing is the management.
You know what I'd love for this race is Ferrari to do well. I'd love for Norris to get that win that he could have got last year, but they let Ricciardo have it.
I'd like to see Norris.
I want to see, because Norris, anytime he finishes well,
he was really
is
doing
so
some
excited.
stuff last season, and now he's not doing stuff.
Well, it's because that McLaren car is not good this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully they figure something out for next year. But I mean, he's getting. I think the true average of that McLaren car is like around 10, like 10th place, and he's getting way more out of it. And Ricciardo is getting nothing out of it.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of in between there. But I would love for him to have the win he could have had last year, and they were like, "No, leave Daniel in front. We're not gonna let you guys fight." He got out there fair and square. Let's just get a 1-2, please, for the love of God.
Yeah. When your team's in the position theirs was in, there's literally there's no benefit to risking.
Yeah, a wreck
any
especially.
Fights.
Yeah, but no, I'm excited. I'm looking at last year's results. Russell got P9 at the end of the race in that Williams, which is really good. Stroll got P7. I mean, this was obviously Verstappen and Hamilton were out.
I want to say honestly that I think George Russell is going to have a great race. I think
that's what I want to say too. But
I'm really kind of rooting for him. Even like, Mercedes
think they're going to have they're not. I don't think they're going to have the straight line speed to do it.
No, but
not to Verstappen at least, unless he has a reliability issue, and that hasn't seemed like a problem in a while.
Yeah, I think they've figured that out.
Yeah. So I mean, I want Russell. I wanted to say my ballsy prediction was Russell wins.
I think it could do well if Ferrari keeps on their strategy pattern they have been on.
Yeah. No, I think, man, I don't know. It's really straight line speed, and honestly, Alpine's got pretty good straight line speed.
Yeah.
Ferrari is more. I mean, kind of like Mercedes was last year, more downforce, more in the turns, kind of stuff, and there's not a lot of those this weekend, so it could be difficult for them potentially. But I mean, without reliability issues sneaking up, I don't see how Verstappen doesn't come in P1 by miles, almost.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
I don't think I'm looking for anything terribly surprising this race, honestly. My most surprising thing I'm looking for, and that I would recommend anyone watch for, is Ferrari getting P3, P4. That would be a pretty incredible result, and there's a chance for it, so that's the thing I would watch for. But they just have not been able to kind of get across the finish line that way.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, and that Red Bull's got the straight line speed, but Perez hasn't been getting the most out of it, as we talked about earlier. So, I mean, there's potential for a 2-3.
I think he's still
Ferrari.
fast in the straights. I think Perez's problems in the corners.
Yeah. But we'll see. But so we kind of talked about it a little bit, but wait, what's that?
Hold on, wait.
What's that coming over the edge?
Let me look.
Dark horse driver.
That's some juicy noise.
Yeah.
That's some good juicy noise I just heard.
So first off, thanks Francisco Berkmeyer for the I found that just guitar riff free use. He said you could use it on YouTube. So thanks.
Awesome.
I'm still want to give a shout out though.
Thanks, dude.
But so Dark Horse Driver, who we think is gonna maybe outperform where they have been next week.
I've got a pick.
Do it.
And I'm going to steal it from Paul, who stole it from me. I'm going to take it back. Alonso. Or no, Cody took it from me. Sorry. I'm going to steal it back. Fernando Alonso.
Okay.
Oh.
I feel like if we listed out Noah's picks, I'd say it goes between Fernando Alonso, Mick Schumacher, Sebastian Vettel.
I was heckin' right. Wait, did I say Alonso last week? Who did I say last week?
I don't know. Probably Alonso.
I think you said Russell last week. Was your dark horse?
I did say George Russell, and gosh almighty, what happened this race? Hold on, let me look at the. Let me pull up the.
Because
we don't talk about
when
that.
Russell was in P2 finishing, it was obvious finish. It was like, God damn it, this is what Noah picked last week.
That's what I picked. I picked George Russell P2. I forgot I did that. Oh man.
I don't remember what I picked last week.
Oh, I picked bad.
God, it's satisfying for all those shit picks I've had for Dark Horse Driver. Getting one exactly
You know
right.
what? I may have stole Noah's and said Alonso. And I think I said top 6 because you said Daniel
You said
Ricciardo
top 5.
7.
You said top 5, and I said Ricardo P6 or higher.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
see,
right.
okay, I got him one wrong. So
Because
I
I
was
went
wrong on
one
Alonso.
below you.
Anyways, we don't talk about those. We never talk about our dark horse drivers.
I've
after we
got
make-
mine.
Yeah, why are we?
We're
why are
breaking
we-
the rules.
We
Yeah.
talk about it now
The
because I
dark
got
horse-
one exactly right.
We only talk about it when Noah's
Yeah,
dark.
that
Yes,
dark horse is
when
going
I
to come
get it
trample
exact-
us.
Well, I would say this. We should talk about it if any of us get it right. Because we've
Okay.
had some pretty bad dark horse driver
Yeah,
picks.
and that we don't talk about.
And that we don't talk about. I have a dark horse driver pick, though. that I'm
First
pretty
rule,
excited
dark
about.
horse driver.
I got one I'm pretty excited about.
Hit me.
Fernando Alonso.
Oh.
P4.
Yeah. Okay.
P4.
Okay, I'll go. You know what? Terrible luck recently. Terrible luck, especially since the summer break. This car started off hot. Mm-hmm. It has since grown very, very cold. I want Valtteri Bottas to get points.
Oh. Points. That's
Points.
Points. That means he
Or
can
a
get
point.
P10.
So P10.
A point. Yeah. Yes.
That's not very. That's not
That's a
too
pretty good
crazy.
dark horse driver pick because it's not wild, but it's pretty
Well,
crazy.
last year he was on the podium. Granted, he was in a different car.
Yeah.
But
They've really cooled, like you said.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an
Alfa
interesting
Romeo
one.
started off hot, and then since they've, well, honestly, since like week 6, but
If Bottas gets points, I think that's a pretty solid dark
and
horse driver
he's been out
pick.
2 races in a row.
Yeah.
So I think just in the
Latifi.
points. You don't have to call the
Yeah.
position on that one, but that's a good pick.
I'm gonna go again
Don't
with
say it.
Danny Rick.
Don't say it. Now you want him to finish the race?
Yeah, you wanted to
Finish.
finish. Yeah, Danny Rick to not DNF.
He got
No.
17th this race.
So I'm gonna say Danny
One-
Rick finishes in points.
One spot above the last person who finished.
Who
So,
was obviously Nicholas Latifi.
Right.
We don't have to even look at the list. We
So-
know.
Yeah, but that was
So-
this week.
your pick
Next
is
week
Daniel.
is next
Well,
week.
granted, here's the thing. Daniel Ricciardo's issue with that McLaren is its corners.
Right.
And this race doesn't have a lot
I'm gonna
of those.
say Danny Rick P8 or higher.
Yeah. This race has 11 corners. It only has 11 spots per lap for him to mess
So
up.
maybe there's a little something in this pudding that you're putting.
Yeah, it's
out.
tapioca.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
there's a little something in this
What's Australian? What's an Australian pudding? Spotted
mustard
dick.
stew. I don't know what they eat.
No, what's that?
Spotted dick?
What's the brown spread?
Vegemite?
Vegemite.
Maybe there's
Vegemite
something to this
pudding.
Vegemite you're cooking up,
Yeah.
or however you make it.
It's just
Okay.
it's
I
just,
think it's just
yeast.
yeast.
It's gross.
yeah, it's
disgusting.
fermented yeast.
Yeah.
Now here's the
actually
thing.
gagged thinking about it.
Let
That
me,
stuff
let me tell you
tastes
something.
disgusting.
Let me tell you something about Vegemite. I've never tasted it. Don't tell me anything about it. I've never tasted it. So in my head, it just tastes like Nutella. So
I don't think that's-
So hold
We're
on
gonna
now.
we're gonna put out a video
So
on our face or on our Twitter at some point. We gotta have Noah try this
trying Vegemite.
as if it's.
What do you
as
put
if
it
it's
on? I'm not
Nutella.
gonna just eat it out of a jar.
You put it on toast.
Yeah. You ever heard the Down Under songs like, "You gave me a Vegemite sandwich"?
Yeah, they put it on toast in the mornings.
I'll eat it on a piece of toast if that will make you all happy.
It's like jelly for them.
If Daniel Ricciardo gets P8 or
or higher.
above, I'll eat a whole Vegemite
yeah.
sandwich.
Cool.
That's what we need to do. We need to start making wagers on these. Dark
Yeah.
horse
I'll eat a
drivers.
whole Vegemite sandwich. What are you gonna do if Fernando Alonso gets P4?
Nothing.
Or no, I think it should be on the same driver. If Daniel Ricciardo doesn't get P8, Paul's gotta eat the Vegemite.
Well, I think you should eat a paella if Fernando Alonso
Okay.
gets P4.
I don't know what that
Daggone
is.
it,
Fine
paella
with
is
that.
delicious.
Yeah, I know.
What a
Down with
delicious,
that.
delicious.
What does
treat.
Spain have that's gross? You know what? Yeah,
Nothing.
Sir, you guys, if Valtteri Bottas gets points, you guys got to eat Sir Strumming.
Oh, how are we gonna get our hands on that Vegemite? You can order off Amazon.
I don't know. It's honestly Sir Strumming may be illegal
You know
in the United
what?
States because it's fucking horrid.
Let's just make it all Vegemite. If any of us get it right, the other two have to eat Vegemite.
Anybody who didn't get it right.
Yeah.
Has to eat.
Has
Well,
to
damn,
eat.
I would have picked a surefire thing.
Unless
So,
we all get it
I'm-
wrong. If we all get it wrong, we have a gentleman's agreement that we don't have to eat the nasty bread.
Okay.
I don't even know if it's nasty or not. It might be good.
Oh, you guys haven't tried. I think even without wagers, we should still just
try it.
Yeah,
For Ricardo.
for his sake, as a wake.
Well, if we all
Okay,
get,
yeah,
if
we'll
one of
do
us,
that.
if
How about
one
we
of us
just-
gets Dark
we
Horse
just do
Driver
it?
right, we'll do it.
I think we should just do it.
There gotta be stakes. We can't just say we're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's for Ricardo.
but we might.
We got just if one of us gets it right, it's possible.
He doesn't have a seat next year.
He's
Yeah.
saying
Noah.
if Valtteri Bottas gets a point on the
Yeah.
board, so
Yeah.
it's like we're gonna
All these
probably end up
drivers,
eating.
all the drivers that want to race F1 on the grid right now, they get to next year. Ricardo doesn't.
Well,
Maybe.
what
So,
I'm saying is we're probably
right
gonna
now,
eat
he doesn't.
Vegemite
So
one way or another.
we need to eat the
You know what?
Vegemite. For
Tune
that.
in to our Twitter F1 Side Pod F1 Side Dash Pod at on Twitter to see who's eating Vegemite. We'll figure
We
that
all
out.
are.
Love
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, those are our dark horse drivers. So congratulations to your future success that we've all predicted.
I'm winning this time again. I'm gonna be on a heater for the rest of the season. I just know it.
So now we've got our stat of the week. I like numbers. Yeah, we
I love
revamped
that.
some
That
of
was
these. Yeah.
that was also very juicy. I like that sound.
So as of this race, Max Verstappen is now 10th place in number of laps led. He passed both Niki Lauda and Nelson Piquet. 1,636 laps led. And he's 25, 24?
23.
No, I know it's one of those two, but and he's already like top 10, so dude's doing pretty well. He's also basically a knight in the Netherlands.
What a special boy.
Yeah.
He's
So-
amazing. I know it. Yes, he's so
Yeah.
good.
I mean-
I like Red Bull. I
You
don't
know-
even hate Red Bull as a team. I just like it. I just find it that they're so dominating right now that it's like not even worth rooting for them. They're gonna win.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and I wanted to mention this at the beginning of the show, but during qualifying, those motherfucking fans throwing fucking flares out
Yeah.
onto the track while they're trying to do qualifying was ridiculous.
Yeah. And I
Like,
loved that the
come
announcers
on.
took a stance. They were like,
Yeah,
don't do that. You're stupid. You're dumb. You're an asshole. We want you out. And then when they were like, the guy who did it has been found and has been taken
Yeah.
out. Good.
Good.
Never come back.
Right.
And I was like, good on them. Because a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
announcers, like in other sports and stuff, they're like, oh, that's terrible. You know, somebody should maybe do something about that, but I'm not going to take a hard stance on it.
Right.
But here they're like, that's dumb. That's stupid. Don't use flares. And even after they used them
Get
after
the
Max
fuck
won.
out.
Yeah, after they used it after Max 1, they were like, well, some people still didn't give up their flares, but at least they didn't light them off during the race, so I
Yeah.
guess that's the best we can expect out of you assholes. Good job. But yeah, so that's our stat of the week. That's
Okay.
our dark horse drivers.
Yes.
We've named our weekend warriors.
We've
We talked
checked-
about the race.
We've checked all the boxes. And now we get a clock out and go home to our families.
Finally.
Yeah, we're locked here all week. We get like 1 hour until next week starts.
I can't wait to see my
Dog.
dog and
I thought you were going to say daughter. I was like, you don't have a daughter.
I have a family. You don't know what it is.
But yeah, so that'll be it for this week's episode of the F1 Side Pod.
I'm Noah. I got you.
Damn it. I'm Cody.
I'm Paul.
Damn it.
the whole thing
Follow us on Twitter, F1 Side Dash Pod. Email us or don't email us. We don't want your
Yeah, we
money.
don't want your money.
Especially if it's money.
But it is F1sidepod@gmail.com.
Dirty corporate money.
Yeah. Noah.
We'll take grassroots donations.
Yeah.
yeah. Only small dollar
Only small.
donations. Yeah.
No more than $10.
Noah, if people are going to review us, what should they tell
Say you knew Cody in school and he high-fived you so hard it broke your arm.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. And now you listen to the podcast every day.
I'll know if you're lying because I know who that guy is. But yeah, follow us, rate us, do all that stuff. Tell your friends about us. This is the F1 Side Pod. See you guys later.